Hello, Dexter Community Schools parents, students, and community members. My name is Mary Marshall, and I'm the superintendent of Dexter Community Schools. I'd like to take a few minutes today to talk to you about the revised CUT scores being reported by the state of Michigan in response to the student achievement on the 2011-2012 Michigan Educational Assessment Program test, also known as the MEAP test. We'll be talking today about CUT scores, which are categories of scores that the state has determined establish whether a student is advanced proficient, proficient, partially proficient, or not proficient based on their achievement on the MEAP test. In the past, the state established very basic levels of scores that were determined to be proficient on the MEAP test. In fact, students could have scored as few as 40% of the items correct and been considered proficient on this basic level. With the new CUT scores, the more rigorous CUT scores, students need to be successful on 65 to 70% of the items in order to be determined to be proficient on the state assessment. Proficiency is designed to be an indicator of whether your child is on track to be college and career ready when they leave our school system. College and career readiness is determined as students who have a great likelihood of earning a score of a B or better in a Michigan college. Here's an example of the change in CUT scores that we're going to see. In this table, I've shared the old basic level CUT score with you from years 2007 to 2010 for the achievement on the 7th grade MEAP test. Below the 2007 through 2010 old CUT score levels, I've taken the exact same student assessment data and I've applied the new, more rigorous CUT score to that same data. So you can see that student achievement in the year 2007 was at 91% of our students being proficient or advanced proficient, but with the new, more rigorous CUT score, that proficiency level drops to about 73.4% of our students being advanced proficient or proficient on the MEAP test. This score does far exceed the state level, but it does indicate a decline because of the new, more rigorous CUT scores. There are many variables to the Michigan Educational Assessment Program test that we want to make you aware of. One is that it's not fair to compare one set of 7th grade data from one year to another year. We have different cohorts of students, and we do see variation in groups of students from one year to the next. In order to look at trends or patterns in a specific grade level, you'd need to look at 3 to 5 years of data before you could begin to make any sort of assessment about whether our students are improving or declining in their performance. Also, the test is a little bit different each year. Although the state tries to make the tests as equitable as possible from year to year, we just want you to know that the tests are different. And as I've shared already, we have CUT score changes. So when we're looking at a student who was proficient last year on the old CUT scores, that student might actually have been minimally proficient if we had applied the new CUT scores to last year's data. We also look at the ACT and Michigan Merit Exam college and career readiness standards, which are different. We asked the state representatives why it was that there was this difference, and it was shared with us that the level of performance needed to be successful in a Michigan college exceeds the national average for readiness for college. That's why when you see Michigan Merit Exam scores later in the year, you'll see that the number of students who are college and career ready based on MME scores is lower than the ACT standard for college and career readiness. We want you to know that the assessment, the MEAP and the MME assessments right now are assessing our students' knowledge of the grade level content expectations and high school content expectations that have been placed in the state of Michigan for a number of years. The state is transitioning to a new, more rigorous set of standards called the Common Core State Standards, and Dexter Community Schools has already taken steps to align our curriculum to this new, more rigorous standard. So in response to this year's MEP tests, we will not be making curriculum alignment decisions based on aligning to the grade level content expectations because we are already moving ahead to the Common Core state standards. The Common Core state standards will be implemented in the area of reading and math beginning in the 2013-14 school year, and we're expecting to see assessments aligned to the Common Core state standards in the 2014-15 school year. So you might ask, what are we doing in response to the changes that we're seeing in the cut scores? Well, we're really focusing on the work that we need to do. We want to make sure that we have a concise and clear curriculum that is taught with fidelity from one classroom to the next. We want to make sure that our assessments are aligned with learning targets that we're writing that take the Common Core state standards and put them into very student-friendly language so that students are aware of what the expectation is, and we have an easier means of communicating to parents about their students' progress. We're assuring that our instructional practices are aligned with the curriculum and that we are using data to review how our students are doing, to share that information with our teachers, with parents, and in cases of students who are a bit older, with the students themselves. And then we're also looking to see if the data gives us any indication of areas that we might need to make some quick curriculum changes on in the interim while we're working on that more long-term transition to the Common Core state standard. While MEP is an important piece of data, it really does represent how your child did on one day on one test. We look at a variety of different assessments in order to determine your child's overall progress. We look at their attendance, the classroom practices that they exhibit, how they work with their peers. We also look at local assessments that we give, and we have some nationally normed assessments that we give to our students. In grades K through 6, we give an assessment called DIBELS, which is just a quick view of how your student is progressing in reading. And we give Scholastic Reading Inventory assessments and Scholastic Math Inventory assessments in grades 3 through 8. The DIBELS and SRI and SMI give us a national look at how well your student is performing as compared to a cohort of students across the nation. We also look at ACT information to determine how well students are preparing for college. So we want you to see that cut scores have changed, but our commitment to helping your student progress has not changed. Our strategic plan is very clear in assuring that we have methods in place to prepare your children to be prepared for a 21st century global society. We want them to have the skills necessary to be successful no matter what their future holds for them. If you have questions about the change in the Michigan Educational Assessment Program test, the MEP test, please give me a call or email me at marshallm@dexterschools.org. If you have questions about your individual child's performance in school, contact your child's teacher or your child's building principal. Someone would be happy to sit down and give you an overview of how your child is progressing in the school system. Thank you for your time.